I've made $2.1 million trading meme coins at the age of 19. And the truth is, my edge hasn't come from chasing every single new coin. It's come from filtering for quality, and none of that would have been possible if it weren't for the right tools. In today's video, I'm giving the most up-to-date and in-depth walkthrough on the exact trading platform I use called Axiom Pro. It's completely free, it's lightning fast, and it's the most feature-packed trading bot in the space right now. Since my last guide on Axiom, both the crypto market and the terminal have had huge updates. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it in 2025. The best filters for finding high quality coins, how to track wallets like a pro, how to avoid rugs, the right Twitter accounts to track, and how to actually leverage this tool to give yourself the best chance at making some insane wins. If you're serious about finding life-changing opportunities in crypto, this Axiom Pro guide is going to change the way you trade.
This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. These are just my personal opinions on the market.
So what is Axiom and why is this a game changer? If you don't already know, Axiom is an all-in-one trading platform designed specifically for Solana meme coins. It gives you absolutely everything you need to be a competitive trader. A real-time tracker of every new coin that comes up, a real-time tracker of every single coin getting volume, a built-in Twitter tracker, a built-in wallet tracker with live alerts, a bundle tracker and information on every single coin, a fee refund system, and you can also trade perpetual futures on. Pretty cool, right? So if you're trading without this, you're trading completely blind. But how do we actually set this up? First, head to the Axiom link in the description and make sure it has @fortune at the end of the link. So when you click sign up, it's going to have Fortune on the bottom bar right here. Through this code, you'll get 20% off all fees, which is the lowest compared to what all Axiom users are getting out there. And once you're here, you can sign up using either your Gmail or by connecting your Phantom wallet. So once you sign up, Axiom's going to generate a 12-word seed phrase for you. Write the seed phrase down somewhere, store it somewhere safe, offline, because this is going to be the only way to recover your Axiom wallet. And now, once you're signed in, you're good to go. Now let's talk about the actual platform itself, because I'm not going to lie, it's pretty easy to get overwhelmed with all the features and coins there are. So the pulse tab right here at the top. This is where every new token appears in real time. This is pretty much going to be your radar, and it's where you're going to be spending most of your time on Axiom. But just looking at it straight up, it's extremely easy to get overwhelmed, right? Tons of new coins popping up in your face every single millisecond. So to break it down a little bit, the left column is where every new coin is going to pop up in real time right here. The middle column is for when new coins are close to what's called migration, which is when a coin reaches a high enough specific market cap to move to a separate liquidity pool. And that's when it comes up on the third column right here, which is where every newly migrated coin will come up. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, 99% of the coins that pop up are absolute garbage, and you will lose money trying to trade these poor quality coins. So keeping a level head and not buying everything you see getting volume is the first important step of navigating Axiom properly. Now here's how you're actually going to set up. There are going to be two setups you switch in between from most of the time. One is when the market is extremely hot and you see a lot of these new coins actually reaching a high enough market cap to come up on the migrated section very, very often. A good way to tell this is literally just by looking at the migrated section and seeing how many coins have migrated within the past couple hours. So in scenario one, you can actually look at the new pair section, the left column right here, and hunt for coins there. And the ideal filter here is opening this up, heading to metrics, and going down to minimum market cap, sending that to 11,000, and that's it. Keep it simple. It's going to filter out a lot of the garbage that doesn't move and just blocks your eyes, and still give you an extremely low entry for coins with potential. If the market is giving you the opportunity to actually capitalize on coins you can get in at extremely low market caps, you should be taking them. I made my first 100K mainly just doing that. But in market conditions like right now, where there's still good volume and there are high quality coins still spawning in, but taking longer to pick up, or just straight up lower volume market conditions, I want you to restrict yourself completely to the migrated section, the third column right here. No filters, just look at only the migrated section. Why? Two things. Number one, the coins that actually migrate, of course, are going to be much higher quality coins out of the thousands of new coins that are spawning daily. These coins need enough people buying in to even come up in the migrated section in the first place. So you're going to have a much smaller pool of coins that you have to analyze a day. And the pool is likely going to be with coins with better narratives, better attention grabbing stories. Because, like I said, they need enough attention to even end up in migrated in the first place. And therefore, you get a much higher chance of catching an actual runner. Number 2, it builds discipline and trains your analyzing process in a healthy manner. What do I mean by that? One of the biggest mistakes I see from new traders is thinking they can just look at the new pair section and they can scalp every new coin for a couple percent gains and somehow stack that up over time. Let me be clear. You are not that good. Burn that into your head. And even beyond that, it's deceptively extremely difficult to actually build solid money trading like that. When you're prioritizing quantity over quality, you're forced to chase coins with short-lived narratives in an extremely tight time frame. Look at how fast these coins on the left are moving and then going straight to zero. You've got to be precise to the second. And even then, all it takes is one bad trade, one unlucky rug, or one unexpected factor, and boom, all those small gains you were grinding vanish in an instant. Me personally, I can watch every single column, but that's because I'm experienced enough to instantly know when a coin could have potential in an instant. You likely can't do that, so most of the time, you should be restricting yourself to the migrated section until you get to that level. I see so many so-called educators in this space. They like to say it's easy, you can just trade these new coins all day long. Look at Cupsy, he's making millions doing this. Why can't you? Don't buy into that. Please don't buy into that. These coins are pumping a couple thousand in market cap and going straight back to zero. Where do you think the liquidity for these highly skilled scalpers actually comes from? From people like you. That is the harsh reality. Most of the big names you've heard about who scalp successfully either have copy traders acting as a cushion, or they've been in the game long enough to make a career of less experienced traders being their exit liquidity. Trading is not some infinite money glitch. You are not here to spend your entire day staring at charts, scalping 50 different coins, praying for a $100 scalp. You are here to make generational wealth from the asymmetrical upside that crypto provides. And that only comes from focusing on the highest quality opportunities, the ones you'll usually find in the migrated section. And as you can see, Axiom organizes all this for you. I'll talk about the actual strategy itself in actually finding these higher quality coins later, but for now, I'll cover everything you need for the setup first. Now, within all these coins, you also see these individual separate logos here, and I'll just quickly go over what they mean. So let me use this coin, Seraph, in the migrated section as an example. Over here, the blue person icon right here is going to be the Twitter that the coin is associated with. So if I click it, it's going to bring me to the Seraph Twitter page. And as you can see, they talk about the contract address here. It's official. Next, this little globe logo right here is going to be the website that the coin is associated with. So you can see here for Seraph, it's a terminal that showcases several AI agents right here. Next, this magnifying glass logo, if I click it, it's going to bring up the contract address of the coin, and it's going to automatically look up the contract address for the coin on Twitter. Great way to do research. So you're provided with every single tool you need to do research on these coins. Next, the thing I'm hovering over right here is going to be the holder count. So how many people are holding the coin. Next is going to be the dev wallet and how much they're holding and where it was funded from. So right here, we can see the dev wallet holds 4% and the centralized exchange it was funded from is Kraken. Next is going to be how much snipers are holding. So this is the amount of supply that was bought on the first block of the coin. So you can pretty much think of this as instant buyers, or more bluntly, the minimum amount of supply that the team is holding. Next is going to be insiders, and this is going to be the amount of supply that was transferred over from the dev wallet. So any amount of locked supply or any amount of supply that the dev wallet moves over to another wallet is going to appear up in the insiders. So this first percentage right here is going to be how much the top holders are holding. So how much supply of the coin is allocated to the top holders of the coin. Usually the higher this number is, the worse, because obviously you don't want huge chunks of supply in the hands of a single person. But we're at the stage of meme coins where distribution doesn't really matter too much. So obviously a high number should bring up some red flags, but it's important not just for the top holders, but mainly a lot of these statistics here to not give them too much mind. These are just stats alone. You cannot quantify attention with just pure stats and distribution. And then finally, we have the bundle percentage right here. So how Axiom works for bundles is when 3 wallets buy supply on the same block, it'll come up. The supply that was bought during that block will show up as a bundle percentage. So it's not going to be exactly accurate to a T, but once again, it just gives you some kind of an idea of the distribution behind the coin. But all these icons coming together tell you every single bit of information you need to know about the coin before you ever buy in. So as I've just demonstrated, Axiom is a powerful research tool. You can find information about every single coin that comes up. Now, for your priority fees, speed matters a lot in this market if you want to get a good entry. And that's why I love Axiom. It's the fastest bot in the market because it has its own RPC. To make sure your trades go through smoothly, here's what I use. Slippage, 30%. It needs to be this high because of how volatile meme coins are, especially the ones with the lower market caps. Bribery, I personally do 0.03, but unless you're actually trying to snipe something, fees aren't really going to affect your entry. So you can do an extremely small amount, like 0.01, and it'll still be fine. Now for MEV protection, honestly, MEVs usually don't occur anymore, but keep it on just in case. Your transactions could be sandwiched by MEV bots if it's not. So just have it on. Set these in your presets and you'll be able to enter and exit positions immediately without getting front run or stuck in a failed transaction. Now let's get into some of the other different features. One of the most profitable coins in this market are news coins. Coins that are made from some interesting news about crypto, or just a really memeable tweet from someone influential. A single trend can bring in a lot of money if you're in before the crowd, and that's where the Twitter tracker comes in. It's going to be a massive edge for you by giving you live alerts on high impact tweets and immediate correlation to newly launched tokens. If I head to the tracker section on the top and to customize feed, I've already got a list curated for you guys on the ones that matter. So just pause right here to copy this, scroll a little bit down, copy the last two as well. And like I said, these are the only accounts you really need to be focusing on. So once you're done, head to Pulse, click up Twitter tracker, drag it to the right here. And now it's always going to be available for when you're trading. So when something big drops, like Elon making a meme, you'll instantly see a wave of tokens appear. And that's your shot to catch the momentum before the volume comes in. For example, this was one trade I made a while back. I made almost 14,000 on a coin called Poseidon. And it was literally all because I was able to catch an Elon meme on the Twitter tracker. So huge advantage for you. But here's the important part. Do not become reliant on this alone. Twitter pumps can be powerful, but they're also very short-lived, usually filled with a lot of noise. If all you're doing is chasing every single tweet from every single person and every single meme, you're going to end up overtrading and get trapped in coins that zero out just as fast as they go up. So you can use the tracker as a signal, as a tool, but always do your research and see if it's worth buying in before going in blind. That's going to be a theme I'm going to emphasize a lot in this video. Axiom is a tool, not a crutch. And speaking of trackers, with Axiom, you can also import wallet lists and track traders in real time. And right here, the wallet manager. For example, if I want to add a wallet, right here, this is Pow's wallet address, a pretty well-known trader in the space. I can see, if I open up the chart, their activity, their current P&L, and how much of their portfolio they're allocating per trade. I can literally track every single one of their moves with a single click. And if I pull up right here, the wallet tracker, and go to trades right here, it's going to come up. Every single move this guy does is going to be actively tracked in real time. You can find other wallets like his by just spending a little bit of time on Twitter. And another thing you can do is going into any coin, like this, Seraph right here, as an example again, going to the top traders and picking out a wallet that made a solid amount of money on the coin. Right here, for example, I open this up, and I'm going to be honest, this guy only has 11 trades taken, probably not a real trader and part of the bundle on the coin. But just to use this as an example, I can copy his wallet, go to my tracker, add wallet, name it bundler, and it'll pop up once again anytime there's some activity. So one thing I absolutely do not recommend is copy trading. It's the easiest way to wash your portfolio. You are buying a coin with a narrative that you know less about than the one you're copying, and at a much worse entry because you're buying after and competing with that wallet's copy traders as well. You're stealing someone else's conviction and you make less than the one you're copying, or what's likely going to happen, lose more if you exit when they do as well. Instead, you should use this as a tool to track wallets, to stay updated with what's getting attention, decide if it's a good narrative yourself, and then decide whether or not it's worth buying in. For example, I've pulled up right here an Axiom account I completely dedicate to only tracking wallets because, like I said, you should be tracking attention. The copy trade feature is a huge edge, especially if you're still building your own system, finding insider wallets, tracking attention properly, but same thing as the Twitter tracker. Do not become reliant on this. You should be building your own conviction on your own coins. Otherwise, all of this is just going to be noise. You can only take advantage of a tool if you know how to use it. Now, the next piece of setup I'm going to show you is something I do not see enough traders taking advantage of inside Axiom, the built-in multi-wallet feature. As you can see here, if I create a wallet, I can make as many wallets as I want, put money into any of them, and if I buy a coin with, let's say, 9 Solana with 3 wallets that have money in each of them, it's going to disperse the amount of supply you're getting with 9 Sol, divide it into each separate wallet. So if I have 3 wallets right here and I'm buying with 9 Sol, that 9 Sol buy is going to be divided among these 3 wallets right here. And if you're working with higher capital, you should absolutely be splitting across multiple wallets for both buying and organization. First, for buying, especially on newer coins with lower market caps, like you're going to be seeing a lot of the time on Pulse. Having your supply dispersed through multiple wallets will make you not come up on the top holder list like I talked about when I was going over the coins distribution, which is great if you're trying to, number 1, pick up a lot of supply, and number 2, keep your wallets private. A wallet holding 3, 4, 5% of a coin is much more scary than a wallet that looks like it's only holding 1. If you hear people crying about this saying, oh my god, you're encouraging people to hold bundles or that'll ruin the chart, ignore them. My duty is to get you, who's watching, the biggest chance to make as much money as you can while the market is hot. At the end of the day, there are winners and losers in any fair market, and it's your job to pick a side. So, some people might hate me for this, but start multi-walleting. Another way you can utilize the multi-wallet feature is also through organization. For example, I can have one wallet exclusively for trenching and using this for smaller market cap coins and have a small percentage of my portfolio right here. Another wallet I can use for spare liquidity and keep it on standby so I can react quickly when a huge market cap, high liquidity opportunity comes up. And finally, I can have another wallet that kind of acts as sort of a treasury. A strategy of mine, for example, for risk management is literally just moving my profits into a different wallet whenever it hits a certain limit. So I trench with about 100 Sol in my wallet usually, and whenever that trenching wallet goes over 100 from hitting a good trade, I just move the amount of money that goes over 100 into a separate wallet. This way, I'm physically limiting my risk. You want to make it a habit to not have to redeposit money into your wallet. You don't need 1,000 Sol to trench. 100 Sol for me is more than enough money to make money trenching. And of course, you can adjust that amount to your portfolio. By separating wallets like this, you physically practice healthier risk management and you're much more flexible. You're not stuck trenching with your main size wallet, which can lead you to think you're trading with infinite money and you end up oversizing out of greed, and you're not locked out of opportunities because all your capital is tied up. This is the best balance. And another underrated feature of Axiom is the fee rebate system. Unlike a lot of other bots that just eat away at your capital, Axiom actually rewards you for using the platform. So here's how it works. Every single trade I make, every single transaction, a small percentage of the amount of money you're trading with, whether it's a buy or sell, is going to end up in the reward section right here, and it's automatically going to be credited back to your account. So the more you trade, the more money you're going to save. It's very subtle, but over time, it really adds up. And I can't exactly leak how much money I've saved doing this, but I've saved tens of thousands of dollars with this system. Especially if you're active and you're trading very high volume, this rebate system can be the difference between breaking even and being consistently profitable. So if you're used to paying high fees on other exchanges or other bots, this is a nice breath of fresh air. And another great feature of Axiom is that you can actually trade perpetual futures on it. You don't need to go to a different exchange. You don't need to leave the dashboard. Just pick an asset you want to trade futures on, and you can long, short, set your leverage. It's going to be just like Hyperliquid. So it's very clean and very intuitive. And whether you want to hedge your positions or play momentum, this gives you a whole new level of flexibility and convenience. And for a lot of traders, even if they don't trade on chain and they're just here to trade futures, this alone makes Axiom worth using. The whole idea of Axiom is that you're always going to be ready for any opportunity. Now, as I've clearly shown throughout the video, Axiom can be an extremely powerful tool, but it doesn't matter how useful something is if it's not used correctly. Remember, at the end of the day, that's what Axiom is. It's a tool. A powerful one, but not a crutch. So, how can you leverage it to actually find profitable plays? And I've been hammering on the idea of quality coins this entire time. But how do you actually separate them from the noise? And that's where my strategy, the alpha filter, comes in. It's my exact framework inside Axiom for filtering out 99% of the garbage you're seeing here and only revealing the coins worth your attention. Let me break it down for you. So the alpha filter strategy on Axiom is going to revolve around three things that you need to keep your eye on. Number one is environment, number two is narrative strength, and number three is asymmetrical upside. And I'll be using everything in front of my screen right now to demonstrate exactly what I mean and break this all down for you. So number one, the first thing you need to look at is the environment. What do I mean by environment? Two things. You are looking at how much volume is in the market, and number two, a leading narrative. So first thing, how much volume is in the market? You can literally just look at this by seeing how often are coins migrating. Right now, you can see there's actually very solid volume in the market right now. There's a coin migrating every couple minutes. And yes, you can see some of these are botted, just like Control here, if you just caught that. But overall, from what I've seen, there's a very solid amount of coins migrating, rather than some low volume days where you'll be seeing maybe a coin migrating every 45 minutes, every hour or so. It's not a good sign. So volume-wise, we're doing solid. The next part of the environment is the leading narrative. Where is all the mind share right now? What is the meta? And a good example of this is Litecoin. Right here, the biggest coin on the Heaven launchpad right now. When Litecoin first launched on August 12th and started picking up a lot of mind share right here on this huge pump, every single coin you'd be seeing on new pairs were Heaven coins. Like Control right here, they were all from the Heaven launchpad. And every coin was centered around appealing to the Heaven launchpad. Whether it was a tech coin for Heaven, a culture on Heaven, a community on Heaven, Heaven was this kind of beacon that you could look up to when looking at all these coins on new pairs. Right now, there's nothing really that's taking up all the mind share right now. So at the moment, there's not really a leading narrative, which is not really great for new pairs, because what happens then, if there's nothing to look up to, you just get a lot of these low quality coins with no narrative, like Butt Plug, Barcoin Killer. Yeah, it's funny and everything, go and take a laugh, but this doesn't appeal to anything. I guarantee you, it's going to stay alive for a little bit longer and then just completely zero out. So right now, in regards to environment, there's good volume, there's solid volume. We can be a little bit more risk off with our plays, put a little bit more capital into these new coins, but there's no leading narrative that we can actually look up to. Number two, narrative strength. How strong is the narrative of the coin we're actually looking at? And that's really going to center around a single question. Why would anyone buy this coin? Why would they think this coin is going to get attention? Normally, coins are going to fall into three categories: tech coins, culture coins, and news coins. Because these types of coins get the most attention in crypto. Everybody loves tech and AI, and everybody loves big news. These are all things that get attention. Butt Plug, for example, and it's kind of crazy that I'm using this as a demonstration, but this doesn't fall under any category. Yeah, I can open up the tweet. It's a tweet about Truth Terminal, and that's it. What reason is there to buy this coin? What realistic event is there that would push this coin up? Absolutely nothing. Truth Terminal is not gonna, out of nowhere, make Butt Plug of the entire platform. Maybe you'll have some KOL just randomly buy into this if you're lucky, but there's no reason for anyone to be buying this coin. There's no reason for it to get attention. So this has no narrative strength whatsoever. Lite is a good example of a coin that has a lot of narrative strength. If I just break it down real quick, the Heaven launchpad was the first instance of a recent launchpad actually having a good flywheel in effect. If you don't know what that is, watch some of my other guides. But pretty much, the tokenomics on this coin were really good, and it caught the eyes of everyone because in the minds of everyone, it's a launchpad. There's a huge team behind this. There's a lot of work behind this. A lot of money was poured into this. And right now, everybody's looking for the next flywheel. That's where all the mind share is. So Lite was something that had a lot of narrative strength, and so were some of the good Lite coins that went behind it. Hachiko, for example. This was something that the Lite team actually endorsed themselves personally. And as you can see, it reflected that because it went to an all-time high of currently 4.4 mil. What's the narrative strength behind this? The Heaven team themselves were personally endorsing this coin. The Heaven team, with all the mindshare they had at the time, they had a coin that went to over 100 million market cap. They were personally endorsing this coin. That's going to get a lot of attention. So this is a good example of a coin that has a lot of narrative strength. And what happened? People who were able to identify that strength, my student Bayside right here, was able to make 18.1K because he was able to identify that narrative strength. Hachiko right here. So once again, this is a good example of a coin that has a lot of narrative strength. While every single coin you can see on new pairs right now, there's no reason for me to think any of these coins is going to get attention because there's no strength behind their narrative. These are all random, maybe funny bits of culture, but at the end of the day, these are all just shitty community coins with no further reason to buy them after they've migrated. But of course, you need to be able to identify that narrative strength before it rips up. And that's where identifying the asymmetrical upside is going to be. And the word asymmetrical upside is really just a buzzword for finding that inefficiency in price to narrative. For example, let me use Hachiko as an example. If you saw this at 500k market cap, even $1 million market cap, after this retrace right here, and you knew the Heaven team was behind the coin just by doing research on Twitter, all public information, a coin personally endorsed by the Heaven team, which was able to run up a coin to over 100 million, and they have all the mind share right now, sitting at only a couple 100k market cap, is an inefficiency compared to the leading coin that they have on their launch pad. So if you bought right here, which is when we called it, that is identifying the inefficiency. Looking at the price and saying, okay, with how much narrative strength this has, it just doesn't look right for the coin to sit at this price. That is identifying the upside. And once again, you cannot apply that to a lot of the coins that you're seeing on the pulse section right here. If anything, it's the opposite. Why is this coin even getting this much volume in the first place? You don't know, because it has nothing to provide that narrative strength behind it. And these are the type of coins that when I look at them, I don't even feel mad about missing, because you need to know that there are good wins and there are bad wins in a market. If you made money on this coin because you were able to somehow magically catch it early, this is an example of a bad win. There's no reason for this coin to go up besides the fact that it's maybe a little bit funny. What the alpha filter does on Axiom is identify only the highest quality coins that you can actually measure the attention of and let you capitalize on it. Because remember, a powerful platform or a great strategy by themselves will not make you a profitable trader. You need both to beat the competition. Stop burning money on all these shitty community coins you're seeing and actually look for quality. That is what Axiom is for.
If you want to take it further and really nail down that process of identifying quality and have access to some of the best calls in the game, I offer one-to-one coaching in the Fortune Inner Circle, where you'll have 7- and 8-figure traders guiding you for the entire process. We've had students like Bayside, a 15-year-old kid who we've scaled to a now 300k portfolio and hit that crazy play on Hachiko you saw earlier, and Bobby Chang, a student at Yale who did not know a single thing about memecoins before coming here, and has recently just hit his first 7k trade within not even a month of being here. So if you want to speedrun your way to the top and honestly be handheld like no other trader is providing in this space, you can apply with the first link in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.